All right, YouTube, what's up, man? It's your boy TKK. Thank you for tuning in. So today is the day where we're going to talk about this laptop that I purchased 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. I posted an unboxing. Check it out right up at the top. And so I feel as if doing a review, a realistic review, it takes time. I'm not a big channel creator, content creator here on YouTube, so I'm not connected with any of these manufacturers where I'm getting these products early released. So when I'm bringing to you my reviews, it's really going to be based on like just me as an average consumer, a person that's realistically using it. And so I've had a couple of months to use this laptop in different places, in different scenarios. I use it for work. I use it for gaming. I use it for content management, content creating, a lot of different things. And so today I really want to tell you guys what I think about it, and let you know if I recommend it, because this is a current running SKU with RTX 30 series card inside of it. And so it's still available for purchase. There's still a lot of other variants that are accessible and available for you to buy at big retailers. So what I'm going to do is get this thing turned on, give you some talking points, give you my 2 cents on if I think you should get it. And we're going to do that after this intro. All right, so the first thing we're going to get into, I use this laptop in a lot of different scenarios. Okay, in my place of business, I have 2 managers, 2 supervisors, and about 30 line level employees that report to me. And so I use it for work. I literally take this thing to work, and when it's time for me to do like my employee reviews, one-on-ones, and come up with different business strategies, this is my driver. This is my tool. So the first thing that I'm going to really point out to you guys is that if you're into having this thing looking perfect, it's never going to look perfect by the keys, right? When I type on this thing, which I do a lot, your keys are going to end up looking scruffy. I actually wish that I hadn't cleaned it off before this review, but that's just something to note. What I found is that if I clean my hands before I use the laptop, then it'll leave the keys looking a lot cleaner. But you know, as you type on this, you'll start to see marks on the keys that you use more often than not. And so that's just something to be conscious of. Checking out the ports of the laptop again, you can see this in the unboxing. Immediately, what I didn't like about this is that it has a micro SD card reader. I'm not sure what the call for that choice was. A full SD card reader would have been best for me in the way that I use it. The camera that I have recording this now takes a full SD card. So being able to take that card right out of there and put it into the laptop would have been helpful. I don't use an Android phone, and so I don't use GoPros. I don't use those type of technologies that use micro SD cards. So this port is truly worthless for me. You do have super speed USB there also on the right. And then going to the left of the laptop, you're going to have 2 USB-Cs. There's no Thunderbolt here. That's another thing that I wish that would have been present on this laptop, but it does have an AMD processor. And so that's why there's no true Thunderbolt there. Now, I do have one dongle plugged into the USB-C. You've got another open available one there to the right. You've got a USB-A there, Ethernet port, and then an HDMI port, and then your power connector. So that's what's going to be present there. Now, the advantages for me, if this had a true Thunderbolt port, is that I would have been able to have gotten myself a second charger, a charger that can do 100 watts, which although wouldn't give me full power to this thing, it would be a great secondary option. So that's just something to be conscious of if you decide to go with this particular unit. Laptop does feature Ryzen 9 5000 series with an RTX 3070 graphics card. Super strong performance out of that combination for video rendering, for gaming. If you want to see some gameplay, I did post a video. I'll link it into this portion of the video with me talking about it. You can see I ran Days Gone, max settings, and it ran really good. So let's talk about the screen quality. Screen is held up really well. There is some light bleeding. That's always to be expected when you're playing games and looking at content with a lot of blacks on an LED screen. It's one of the advantages to getting an OLED. If you need to know more about OLED, I've done a little bit of realistic coverage on buying an OLED TV and what you can expect with it. But this TV does pretty good. It gets pretty bright. You can keep the camera there, son. I'm gonna just turn it at different angles, see if you can see any reflection. What happens with an LED screen that does not happen with an OLED screen is when you start to look at the picture from an angle, your colors start to wash out a little bit. It's not gonna happen much with a laptop because in most cases, you're gonna be sitting in front of the laptop. You're gonna be in front of the sweet spot of it, right? It is designed with you being able to move this screen in various different ways to fit your needs and to fight light, right? So if you got a lot of light maybe coming from direct, you can kind of push this back. And if you're in the sweet spot of the laptop, it looks really good. Like you can get up on it even if you lay it back to be able to see the content there. The screen resolution is QHD, so it's 2560 by 1440, and it does run at 165 hertz. I just like to keep these little stickers and advertisements on my laptop. It just makes it look clean and still good. So, you know, in a year or two, if I want to sell it, it'll have better sell value. Sound quality is not too bad with this particular system. Audio sounds really good. Just listening to it. I haven't tried plugging in like an external DAC, sound DAC or anything like that, so I wouldn't be able to tell you from a specific or technical perspective if it's giving off any kind of special sound quality, but the speakers on the actual laptop do sound pretty good. One thing that you want to be conscious of anytime you buy a gaming laptop, if you get it for gaming, you're going to get some heat. There's going to be some heat coming from this thing, okay? It doesn't mean that your laptop's not working. It doesn't mean that it's broken. It's just what's going to happen. And the stronger the laptop, when I say the stronger, I mean the processor, the graphics card, and the smaller the chassis is, you're going to get more heat. It's just logic. So expect it. This particular laptop is not really heavy. It's pretty light. Feels like it's well under 10 pounds. I'll put the exact weight that's on this laptop in the description of the video, but it feels pretty damn good. It does retail for around 1,900 bucks. You'll pay about $2,000 for this thing after tax, depending on where you're at. I'm in Florida. It's 7.5% sales tax. This thing retails for like $1,850, so you can do the math on that. RGB is present. Asus Aura Sync, so I just have it doing the strolling. You do have the ability to go in and set this thing to pulsate, to breathe. You can set it to where if you just hit a key, that key lights up and it'll kind of give this pulsating reflect to everything else. Some great options. Power buttons on the top, doesn't feel finicky. Most of the time when I'm turning this thing off, I'm using software, obviously, to shut it down. You don't want to really force your computer to be turned off unless you're having some problems with it. So I don't know how long that'll last up, but the quality, I'm just trying to cover the quality. It feels pretty good. I did cover this in an unboxing. You've got a couple of light indicators up here. One's for power, one's for going to be for your hard drive and so forth. And then one's just to let you know that the laptop is actually turned on. And so, yeah, it's a pretty good system. And if you're going to be using this thing for like multitasking, for video editing, as I said, it's got the specs that can really get you through. This thing defaults with 8 gigs of RAM. I'm sorry, 16 gigs of RAM is what's going to be present in this thing. It has one 8 gig stick that is removable, and it has one 8 gig stick that is soldered. So I took the removable 8 gig stick there and I added a 16 gig stick there. So it maximizes at 24 gigs of RAM. It doesn't come stock like that. I haven't seen any retailer, that has a stock like that. I imagine you can get this thing configured from Asus and it'll be like that. Idle temps on this thing, pretty good. I don't have specific measurements, exact numbers, but doesn't get really hot to the touch unless you start revving up a game. It does make a lot of noise though if you're playing games and you're pushing max settings, which again, that's just one of those things where you just kind of got to be prepared for that when you're using a gaming laptop. All right, to conclude this video doesn't need to be drawn out. I will open up the forums down below in the comments if you have any specific questions about this laptop or any other. I'm pretty well versed with all of this type of technology. So if you got questions about another model that you're interested in, maybe not this one, but something else, let me know. On my channel, I've reviewed a couple of different laptops. This is currently my main laptop that I use kind of like for everything. Prior to this, I had the MSI that I got last year. You can check that out. I had an unboxing and showing some gameplay of that. The specs on this are buffed up more. So right now, you're getting better value for high tier laptops than you did last year with the 20 series. But the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about was just like what your expectations are. If you get a laptop like this, I would say that you probably should expect to have it 4 to 5 years. Me, I tend to change out like my main laptop driver every couple of years. I try to go every 2 years, get whatever the newest technology is. You know, normally there's going to be better battery, more efficient processing, and better screens ultimately. But I use this thing for everything. I use it for gaming, as I said earlier, content creating. I use it like for my everyday business life. Like when I'm actually working, this is what I'm using to do everything. And it's been working really well for me. I do baby it physically. So, you know, there's not going to be a laptop you can really get like this that you can just throw around and bang around. So if you're going to carry it around, make sure you get yourself a protective bag. I don't review bags, but just get you something that has some cushion, some padding within the actual lining of the bag, so that if you are taking it to like an airport, if you are taking it to work, if you are coming home from work and just kind of tossing it, that the laptop is protected. It's made of plastic. I mean, just like cars. If you hit a car's gonna get damaged. If you bang this laptop up, that's gonna happen too. But there's a lot of quality to this. So if you're like that aspiring content creator wanting something that's gonna be mobile on the go, excellent performance in gaming, excellent performance in video rendering. You can see content as high as QHD, able to render content in 4K. I'm shooting this in 4K now. I won't use this to render the video, but I have used this laptop to render a lot of my videos that I've shown you guys before in the past. I give this a solid recommendation. Much more expensive than a console, but the value of finding like the right gaming PC today is really tough. And this is a solution that could get you great gaming at like maximum settings at pretty much any game that's out right now in QHD with high refresh rate. This is a really good tool. And the more games that are coming out that are going to be cross-platform, Destiny 2 is getting ready to do their cross-platform thing, Dead by Daylight. There's a lot of games that a lot of streamers play to produce content that you can use this thing for, to play people on console. So you don't really have to limit yourself to the living room space or to sitting at a desktop. You can get you a really, really good laptop, save up, get the right model for you. As I said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and we can have a dialogue. I can answer them as soon as I see them. I'll get with you guys and respond to you. So that's all I got for this. I do recommend this. Solid product. It's like 9 out of 10. It's better than the MSI that I had. The MSI came with 32 gigs. This came with 16. I got some more RAM, put it in there. 24 is more than sufficient for the way that I use this. And I actually do use this for business. So that's really, really the thing that I want to drive home for you. This is a business tool for me. This is not just gaming, but I do use it whenever I'm streaming my content also. So that's all I got. If you guys got questions, I told you what to do. Get in the comment section. Talk to you guys next time. Peace, God bless, and max love.